Hey everybody, welcome back if you're returning, welcome if you're new, happy to have you here. We are doing the ish for today. I'm just going to get our topic here real quick. Now I did get out the big ass microphone and I'm sorry if the shuffling is annoying in that, we're going to have to see. Last week's audio was horrific, so I wanted to fix that. That's annoying, I get it, totally. Alright, what is our topic for today? What is our ish to ponder? Alright. Love. Get some, give some. It will cheer your ass up. And it's so true, so true. Love is what we are. At the core of our being. Earlier in the week we talked about getting out of your ego. And the raw being at the core of our soul is love. Not the kind of love that we think, okay? Because love, as we experience it in the human condition, most of the time, is conditional. And it starts with our parents because they're doing their job. They can't just love us unconditionally while we burn the house down, or kill our sibling, or whatever. Eat all the cookies that we can find. Their job is guidance. They have to put conditions on it, not on love. They love us unconditionally, but it doesn't seem that way. And not all parents do. And if that's your situation, I hate that for you, and I'm sorry, and know that it's not you. There are so many conditions, personality disorders, people's own belief systems that they grew up with that can alter the way that they interact, and it's for self-protection. Some of it is just their brains are wired weird. If you look at, there's the sociopathy spectrum of personality disorders where you go from everything to someone who's a little self-centered to like Jeffrey Dahmer, as far as people who just, because of the way their brain works, it's not wired the same as someone who's very open and compassionate. And some people are not capable of feeling compassion, of empathizing, of being able to put themselves in someone else's shoes. That's just, it has nothing to do with you. And I did last week's Tuesday, I think so. Yes, last week's Tuesday video, there's energy feeder supplement in the description box. I'll add that to today's too, because that helps you kind of understand if you've interacted with people that you're just like, my gosh, they can be so damaging to the person that they're in a relationship with because they don't grasp love at all. That's not even a concept to them. They don't even like themselves, which you'd be surprised because you think a narcissist is, very self-absorbed, but it's very, very opposite that. Anyway, getting off on a tangent. Love. Unconditional love. We talk about it. Agape love. It's talked about in the Bible, it's talked about in so many places, but very few people ever experience it because our conditioning is that I will love you if. And one of the best examples of this, it was a podcast, and a gentleman was talking about unconditional love, and he said, if you came home from work and there was a note on the table that said, I'm leaving, I'm not happy here. Please don't contact me. I found the place where I am happy and I want to continue my life there. And this is from your spouse, and you look around and all their stuff is gone. If you love them unconditionally, you would be happy that they found their happiness. How many of us would feel happy in that moment? Excuse me. So we would feel betrayed, we would be angry, how could you do this to me? That's our first response. And unconditional love is truly freedom. Love should be freedom and encouraging the other person to grow and become their best self, even if it's not the one that you initially knew. And in a lot of relationships, parent-child, romantic, friendships, when somebody starts to change, it makes the other person uncomfortable because there is a dynamic that you interact in, and you have certain expectations of that dynamic. And if they start to change, it makes you uncomfortable. And you want to pull that person back in and go over the contract. Look, we became friends doing this. We went out to the bars together and you quit drinking. You have breached our contract. And of course you're not going to approach it like that. But there's a part of you that's like, well, what are we going to do now? We can't even be friends now. Well, yes, you can. We evolve, and we're meant to evolve. Unconditional love would be the relationship where you're like, look, we were great together then, but not so much anymore, because we enter into connections based on energetics at a deep level. We attract what we are. Well, because we are also evolving human beings, that changes. And if it doesn't, you're stagnant. You need to get out there and try some new things, because the whole point and joy of life is evolving and growing and experiencing new things. And that's all outside our comfort zone. Is the place where we start to panic and not want to go there because it's not safe. Well, it's the same with the relationships, because we get into our safe places and our interactions, and they become very stagnant unless we're growing. And you can grow together, because your friend who, contractually you go out drinking together quits drinking. You still enjoy their company, but of course they're not going to want to go hang out at a bar. So what else could you do together? What other things did you have in common? If it was only drinking, well, it may be time to let that one go. It's just you don't jive anymore. And that means that you're both growing into a different area. No hard feelings. You love that person is expanding. Unconditional love. I wish you the best. How many of us leave relationships that have gone south going, I wish you the best, and mean it. And mean it. You're like, I wish you the best, and I hope you get hit by a train. Asshole. Because that is our ego. That is our human speaking. Our soul is not that way. It is not vindictive. It's not hateful and spiteful. It doesn't keep score. Like, well, you messed up. You ought to be thanking me for putting up with your dumb shit. But no. And it's a choice, right? A lot of times we stay in things that we have outgrown just because we don't know what else is out there. It's our comfort zone, again. And the beauty of it is when you really connect with a person, you can grow together, and we tend to just develop our routines and get stagnant. And if one person is very growth oriented and the other person is not, that will create a problem. And the unconditional love is that this person who's constantly growing is accepting of the fact that this person is comfortable here. And this person who's comfortable here encourages this person to continue growing, and actually, feels excitement and joy for them when they come back and talk about all the stuff they're doing. And this person who's comfortable right here is still experiencing growth through the sharing of the experiences of the other person. And through that unconditional love, where each person is good to be who they are, and you accept that you're different, but you can still enjoy each other, that will stand the test of time. It's when we have the conditions, I'll love you if. I'll love you if you stay here in the box with me. I'll love you if you don't change. And as children, we were given the impression, certainly by the authority figures in our lives, I'll love you if you do what I say. I'll love you if you get good grades. I'll love you if you clean your room. And that's just our perception of it. They had to teach us to do things. But then we go into our adult lives with this concept of I'll love you if. And we enter into relationships feeling the burden of I'll love you if. And we put forward our best self in the beginning. And then sometimes we set the expectations too high and feel like we have to maintain that, or we're in a certain career path that is very complementary to the person that we're with, and we're afraid that if we change that, it'll change the dynamics of the relationship and it won't work anymore. So we stay there, we stay stagnant under that I'll love you if. And that's not fair to anyone. When you feel the urge to change, have an honest discussion with your partner. Look, I don't know how you feel about this. I'd like to try this out. What do you think? And if you really do have the open communication and the acceptance and that unconditional love, our thing is you do you, boo. If it makes you happy, you do you, boo. You have to have ground rules. There are certain expectations that people have in relationships, and as long as you agree, you're good. And as far as like, hey, I want to go skydiving. Well, that's not me, but you do you, boo. I'll take pictures for you. I'll be your photographer. And you can still enjoy experiences like that together without having to be the same, without having to judge. Acceptance is, I think acceptance is truly the basis of love. I accept you for who you are. I celebrate you for who you are. The more different you are from me, the better, because I can learn so much from you, and I can grow so much from being around you and seeing your perspective and understanding how you think about things and where you're coming from and why you enjoy this. Even though I don't, I can really enjoy listening to your passionate explanation of why you love this thing and appreciate you as you. And that is love. Not, look, you got to be like me or it's just not cool, okay? And we have so much of that. Trying to control other people and shape them into what we want them to be, instead of just being like, you are an amazing human being. I am fascinated by you. Tell me more about why you like this thing. What is it about it that makes you passionate? And just enjoy their energy when they light up and talk about it. Even if it makes no sense to you on like a logical level, it's not something you would enjoy. Feel their passion for it. Get into their excitement. A little more love. Because you know what? Get some, give some. It will cheer you up. On that note, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.